All right, what is going on, guys? Young Lincoln here. Young Link Jr. is Tuesday night, January 4th, 2022. Still early in the new year, on the fourth day of the new year. How's everyone doing so far? And yeah, so as you can see, you're no stranger to this. You've been following me since 2000 and I think 15, 16. So be an avid reader. So now I'm reading. I finished reading the book Midnight Library. I read it in 4 days. It's like 281 pages. Really good book by Matt Haig. And what I like about the book is by a young woman. She's like in her mid 30s. Her name was Nora, and she faced like a midlife crisis in her life, and she was kind of like disappointed in all the life choices that she made, and choices that she didn't pursue, and she always had this thought like I wish I would have could have. And the thing about Nora is that she worked at String Theory. String Theory is like equivalent to a guitar center. She had a talent in playing the piano. She was a songwriter, and she was an Olympic swimmer, not Olympic swimmer, but she was a good swimmer. And she actually participated and competed in competitions when she was 14, and she won. And she was really good. Her dad was so adamant of her, pursuing a career in swimming. She did all of that, in her youth. She wasn't like too popular though, but she was still like, kind of known, especially due to her being athletic. But she was supposed to get married to this guy named Dan, right? And I think she backed out 2 days before the wedding. So when the author actually talked about that, he wrote about that in the beginning. I was like, oh, this is interesting, man. So she was thinking like, dang, if I would have married him, I probably won't get stuck at this dead end job. And you got so many people in life that kind of think about that. Like they kind of get stuck in, their lives, and they get stuck in a job or something like that. And then they feel like, dang, they got a wife or they got a husband, they got kids involved now, and they got bills, all these expenses, and they feel like it's no way out. They feel like, oh, this is the only way, this is my reality at this point. Till I get something better, till I hit the lottery or things like that. And reading this book and just so very interesting in this, it's like you bring the characters into life with Nora. It's that she actually, she wanted to die. Like she was very suicidal at that time, man. And one of the signs of that, was grief. She didn't really have a good relationship with her father too much. Not even her brother. Her brother named Joe was actually a very good guitarist. He was actually leader of the band called Labyrinth. And because the deals that kind of the shady deals that happened, Nora decided not to. She kind of backed away from the band and actually hurt Joe's heart. And Joe was looking like, dang man, this is like this is one of my favorite things I wanted to do in life. Like I wanted to have a successful band, and my freaking sister from all people backs out on us. And it kind of sucked now, because at that time she looking like, damn man. And so anyway, moving forward, she found out that her cat died. It was this guy named Ash. Ash was a freaking surgeon, and Ash saw seen the cat like just die on the road, and he felt like, okay, this is the cat name was like Voltaire. All right, so he brought the cat to her, and she didn't even know, up to her knowledge, she didn't get fired from her job because she showed up late, real late after the incident and everything that happened. She didn't really have like transportation. Things were just not going right for her. And so, I think she went to a deep meditative state, deep sleep, and she ended up waking up. This is a fiction book. She ended up waking up into this midnight library. It was around midnight. And she actually had a relationship with Miss M. Now, in her past life, Miss M was the librarian. And it was just interesting that the author takes us into this huge journey of Nora having a relationship with Miss M. Miss M is actually playing chess, and I'm actually I'm a chess player as well. And she was just talking about moving forward, like no matter what, no matter the pieces on pieces on the board. If you got less pieces than your opponent, you still got a fighting chance until that clock hits zero, or it's only just your king left, or they put you in checkmate. You still got a fighting chance. And it was just things like that. So she had ability, right, to unlock a lot of life possibilities through these series of books. It was a whole bunch of bookshelves there, all right, because this was a lot of times that she spent her life. She spent her life like in the library to get some type of closure, seeking a mentor. And so in this particular instance, Midnight Library was very appropriate for her because it would keep her in a calm state, and actually she will actually have the motivation, inspiration to go ahead and to fulfill life possibilities. And all the books, and then she had a great book represents her regrets. Like, okay, so you want to have a do-over in life. So I'm gonna give you an opportunity to open one of these books here on the shelves, right? You open these books on the shelves, and this is a book, whatever book you open, that's the life that you're gonna be in. All right. Now she wanted to be a glaciologist, on that studied the ice glaciers because she was very, good in science. She loved that. She wanted to be, hey, what about my life would be like if I was an Olympic swimmer? What about if I done this? I mean, because apparently she didn't really take any possibilities. What about if I would have married Dan? And one of the lies, I don't really remember. I might go out of order, so forgive me on that for people who actually read the book. But she actually went on, one of her lives. She decided, like, okay, well, what about I was married to Dan? I'm gonna see how my life would be like as a married woman. So she was there, and she realized all the her true colors came out for Dan. Like, Dan was kind of a drunk. Like, so Dan had a dream, right? He wanted to start a pub, right? Pub, like a bar and grill, a Buffalo Wild Wings. He wanted a pub, right? And initially that was the plan, they wanted to do before they soon as they got married, and he wanted her to invest in him. He wanted a pub for a whole bunch of people to come over and invest and have a good time, drink, and all this stuff, right? And she ended up doing that. She sacrificed a lot of her time and her abilities and her talent to go ahead and to help him with the pub. But she realizes that he was coming home drunk. He was coming home not being a good husband. He was coming home just yelling at her, just being pretty much emotionally abusive to her. And she did not like that. She did not like that at all. Nora was very disappointed in that. And she was like, "Are you serious? Like, we was engaged. I loved you. Like, I was so infatuated with you." And they was just, it seems things just seemed out of whack. And she realized, like, okay, this is not the life I want to be in. I don't want to be in this type of life here. Get me out of here. I don't want to be in this type of life. And that's eventually, because of disappointment, she ended up waking up and returning back to the Midnight Library. And therefore she was actually talking to Miss M, and Miss M was the one that was running the Midnight Library, about her experience. So she ended up opening another book, things like that. It had all this type of, you gotta read the book, but it had a lot of like also too, I think she got a master's degree in philosophy too. I forgot to mention that was really key in the book too. She was thinking, like, dang, like, this is crazy. Like, why is he like that? Like, so the thing is that, you know, you can't. And then she had a good relation with her brother in that life. So what she realized is that she can control her choices, but she can't control the outcome. So meaning is that when she wanted to be an Olympic swimmer, right? She opened a book. It was a book that she able to become an Olympic swimmer, and she realized that her mother died, and she was unable to go to the funeral. She was unable to, see about her, talk to her as much because she was too busy training so much and to become an Olympic swimmer. It took a lot of time away from her. And then she realizes that her mom, this really hit me. Her mom died due to drinking. Right? She came to it. She was in a very depressive state because she found out that her father had an affair, right, with another Olympic swimmer. And I'm looking like, wow, man. And so then she started realizing, okay, money, fame. She was in TED Talks, all this type of stuff, right? In another universe. And she realized, like, yeah, that's cool. I got this money. I got like 1.5 million followers on Instagram, Facebook and all this stuff. But at the same time, though, if my relationship with my mom is not right, and it's like, well, what does it? So then she realized that money really wasn't the root of her happiness, So um, it was just crazy, man. I was just looking like, wow. I was just going through so many imaginations, and she had many other lives as a politician, as a lawyer, but those the ones that the author spoke about. He really went into descriptive detail. It was at one point when she was a glaciologist, she actually found out that Hugo was one of the characters there, and Hugo was jamming too. He was actually in the studio. That was his Midnight Library, and he had hundreds of lives. Like, he had so many possibilities that he want to try this life, try that life. He just want to have some type of fulfillment, right? And he really wasn't. I won't say he wasn't happy, but he looking like, hey, if you got all these options, why not pursue all of them? That was pretty much his mentality. And I was just looking like, dang, man. And so many of us, man, in life, like, I was just thinking about, like, dang, man. I have thoughts that, dang, if I would have done this, or if I would have finished school, what about I didn't join this, or what about I would have joined this group? What my life have out to be? And the thing is that, I mean, yeah, but just be content for the things that you do have and just move forward, right? Just move forward each and every single day. Like, love the people that loves you, contact people, communicate with them, regardless. Like, it's good to understand, you want to improve yourself, but at the same time, never wish that you had somebody else's life, because you're looking at from the outside looking in. And that's what I kind of learned about from this book, man. It takes you to a whole new journey, man. It's a really good, easy read. I had to look up some of the words because the words was like a little the dictionary and stuff like that. But I actually learned a lot, man. Now it actually improves your vocabulary. But man, I just go on and on, man. All these possibilities. I thought it was very, very creative, man. And one key thing is that about Nora is that with Nora, she um when she had a life, I think as a mother, she ended up marrying Ash, who was the surgeon. Everything started circling back around. She was actually pretty happy. She had a daughter, and she had to figure out like who her daughter was without being like kind of weird. Like, hey, you should have know who I am, that type of stuff. And so she was playing different games and stuff like that, man, because her daughter ended up having nightmares about bears. I thought that was kind of creative and stuff. She's like, how about we play a game that if I ask you a question you know the answer to, just basically I'm asking questions that you should know the answer to. We're gonna play a game like that. And she was like, what type of job does your dad works and all that stuff? What is your name? How old are you? And I thought that was really cool, man. And you actually see a different side of Nora. You see like the nurturing side of Nora. Like, she want a life, she want a good life, she want something that can really push her and keep motivating her. And it took her to go into the Midnight Library, a different and try out different universes to be like, okay, let me go back and and work on my life currently. It's really not that bad. Yeah, it's not like what I want it to be, but I still have life. Life is still precious, and I know it's light at the end of the tunnel. And this is a really good book. If you're feeling stressed out, depressed, I know I left out a lot, but this I had to really come out here and go live on this because this book is really good. It's really great. I'm pretty sure you can see other reviews about the Midnight Library, but this life of possibilities, this is good. This is something that I feel like an avid reader or any beginning reader will love and kind of understand and get some type of inspiration. Man, it's funny how when she wasn't disappointed, she still welcome to the Midnight Library, and it was like an era, and Miss Elm was trying to figure things out, and then she noticed that after all the book of regrets, she regretted like, dang, what about I should have joined the band and all that stuff. She was like a lead singer and all that stuff. She was a songwriter. She ended up dating this celebrity. It didn't turn out too well, so she kind of understood like the luxury, the affluent lifestyle really wasn't for her too much. It was just like, yeah, it was cool for a minute, but it was like a high. Like, it didn't give her any type of fulfillment. And it's just funny that after all of that, man, she escaping from the Midnight Library. It was like, burning down because she actually found some type of happiness that she wanted to be content. She still wanted to live because the Midnight Library only exists when you don't want to live. You still want to have the options to live another life. And she want to work it out with her old life, and she ended up leaving, and being contented. She ended up, reconnecting with her brother. What I noticed is that about Nora is just that Nora loved her family as much as she loved her family a lot, even though like the choices that she made kind of like made it a little bit difficult. People want to distance themselves from her, but she's still trying to make it work. And it's just sad that it's interesting they had to take for her to live multiple lives and hundreds of lives just to be like, you know what, I'm gonna work this out. So she was really content and she was happy. She ended up volunteering as being working at the animal shelter. Just so many things, man. I can go on and on, but this book was beautifully written. Given a 9 out of 10, it was really a great book. I'm probably gonna read another fiction book, but I had to come in here and just give respects to Matt Haig. I think he writes other books too, and yeah, Midnight Library was good, and what got me into the Midnight Library, actually a friend, I won't say a friend, but someone I went to church with, she ended up, I follow her on Facebook, and they was just talking. She was talking about what books she's gonna read and stuff like that. She said Midnight Library, and she's a very smart woman. And I read the comments. I was like, let me just go ahead and try to look this book up, and I was like, wow, it's actually not that bad. Like so you know and from what I read. But yeah, man, it's really good. I'm gonna probably go ahead and probably try to read another book and do another book review on it. But it's so good. It's really good, man. So I mean, life of possibilities, man. Seriously, that's all it is. And life, it can take you anywhere. At the end of the day, it's all about your attitude and stuff like that, and just being around the right people, being around good people, that want to invest in you. And riches and all that stuff don't even bring like true happiness. It's cool, it brings comfort, but if your family's not intact, it's like, what's the use? At the end of the day, as human beings, we're naturally supposed to be compassionate. She talked about her friend Izzy. Izzy was a young woman that she was supposed to go to Australia with, and she decided not to, marry Dan and all this stuff. And she realized it was kind of disappointing that, when she went to Australia, she was swimming there, she was doing everything she wanted to do there at first, but she realized she had a roommate and Izzy wasn't there. I think Izzy died tragically, and she like, wow, like, what's the point of me being in Australia if my friend is not here? So, you can be in the most lavish places in the world, but you don't have that human connection. You just feel empty inside. So it's just a lot of little key points that I kind of understood and took out of from the Midnight Library, man. Just valuing my relationship, especially with my parents, family, friends, in general, man, because at the end of the day, we're passing away every single day, so it's important to, I trying to check on your folks, see how they doing, things like that, man. So, but I know we get like too busy because we get caught up, paying bills and trying to make it in life, or just trying to barely survive, but human interaction is, like I say, is very vital. You really want that. So, but Midnight Library, it's Final Verdict, really good, and I advise people to go ahead and pick it up. Seriously, you can get it off. I actually bought the book from Walmart at Walmart. I think it was like $12, I believe. It wasn't that much. So, uh, believe it or not, retail store Walmart got a lot of good reads. So it's really cool, man. But that's all I really have to say. You guys continue to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Hope everyone enjoyed the holidays and stuff, and we're able to get back to work and do the things that we love, man. Seriously, I know it might be very difficult because working at a dead end job can be very painful, and I know you just need this money, but at the end of the day, things will work out on its own. Um, just never wish you never had another life. Just wish like, okay, well, let me just do better next time. Work what I got. So purposely try to improve yourself. Each and every single day, and I think that's the best thing you can do as a human being. So, but this is the book review. I just want to talk about. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, share this video. It's your boy Link Jr. I'm out. Deuces.